Good evening and welcome to Good News on Entertainment. I'm Carley Boyette and I'm so happy you're tuning in. We're going to be covering a lot tonight, and up first is a really exciting video game platform for kids that I want to tell you about. It's called TruePlay. I know a lot of families may be getting new devices for their kids and grandkids this Christmas, and this is an amazing app that families can feel good about downloading on their kids' phones, tablets, or iPads. In fact, they are even working on bringing a Jesus-centered game in 2025 as well. Before we check in with the founder of TruePlay, let's hear a little bit more about their mission and goal.
Today, the average child spends about 6 hours per day in front of a screen, where they are exposed to toxic, violent, and sexual content. With anxiety, suicide, and depression at all-time highs, our children are more vulnerable than ever to online threats.
Predators are looking to get online and talk to kids all the time.
Are the shows they are watching and the games they are playing helping or hurting? Do you feel helpless to do anything about it? Not anymore.
Imagine video games that combine high-quality graphics, family fun, and teaching the Word of God.
Introducing TruePlay. TruePlay is one app with multiple high-quality games designed to promote positive Christian values. With no ads, in-app purchases, or chat rooms, TruePlay delivers a real solution for parents and caretakers seeking safe, productive, and faith-building screen time alternatives for their children. A TruePlay subscription unlocks a whole universe of faith-filled adventure featuring dozens of games, comics, and animated shorts designed with care to be engaging, entertaining, and most importantly, true to the Word of God.
God tells me to be strong and courageous!
Please, God, keep them safe.
But I knew God had called me to something bigger, and I was looking for the chance to prove myself.
Lord, I know you're with me. Help me be like you.
It's time to take a stand. Join TruePlay and fight for a better future for our children.
Oh, Brent, you've piqued my interest big time here. I told you before we got started, I am a mom. I have two elementary age kids, a middle schooler. I totally see the need for something like this, and I'm so excited to hear more. That's got to be the reaction that you're hearing from parents as well.
Yeah, their reaction's been fantastic. I mean, Carley, we're in this world now where, you can't, you're worried about, kids on social media and depression and anxiety caused by that. And then you turn around and you say, okay, well, let's take them to a Disney movie. Oh, I can't go there because there's all this sexual content I don't want my kids to see. Well, at least we can watch the Olympics. So and you can't even do that anymore, right? So parents, I think particularly in America, but really all over the world, are just feeling this onslaught from toxic content everywhere. And you see it in schools, parents are getting in the workplace.
But you can't just shut it off. That's what's frustrating. It'd be so nice if you go, okay, no, we're just going to unplug and not do anything. That's not a very good solution either.
It's not, I grew up in the 80s and there was this idea that, you don't watch this movie, don't turn on this TV show, don't listen to this music. And I get it, but we've got to give people things to do. You just can't in 2024 expect your child to play outside for 8 hours a day and chew tree bark. That's not realistic. And so what we've built at TruePlay is a platform. It's one app on your phone, on your tablet, with dozens of games, digital comics, videos of the utmost quality, top-notch quality. But everything we do is filled with the truth of God's word, whether it's Bible stories, Bible games, but really fun adventure stuff. In fact, it's so fun that if you give a kid Roblox or Minecraft, which are two of the biggest, if you're a parent out there, I'm sure your kids may use it, two of the biggest gaming platforms for kids, or you give a kid TruePlay, they're actually twice as likely to come back after a week or after a month and use TruePlay. We've seen people just love it. They're seeing lives changed. Kids are falling in love with the characters. I'm wearing this T-shirt, if you can kind of see it. Maple, who's this little girl who's in a bunny rabbit in a tiger costume. We had a kid just have a Maple themed birthday party. We've got just even parents enjoy playing the games. It's been a lot of fun.
And the crazy thing is it's still relatively kind of new.
It
So
is.
I'd imagine the biggest hurdle, it's just getting the word out and telling families about it.
It is. The biggest thing that we find is people see it and they're blown away and they play it and they love the games, they love the characters, they love the graphics, they love the stories. The biggest thing is people are like, I didn't even know it existed. And so, we're appreciate your graciousness on letting us spend a little time with you and talking about it today.
Hey, this is my jam. This is what I love to do when I can say, hey, check this out. So, talk about Journey of Jesus in particular, this one game that's got a very interesting life and how it started, how it was shut down, and how we're trying to, pun intended, resurrect it, I guess.
Yeah, that's very good. Well done. So for if you're listening, True Play, again, check it out on the App Store, or go to our website, trueplaygames.com, TRUPLAY. And so it's one app with a whole bunch of games inside it. And these are very high quality games. You can play each of these games for hours and hours. There's over 100 hours of content in True Play. Now, inside True Play, there's all these different games, and we release new games all the time. In fact, we just had a new game come out earlier this month. One of the games we're working on for next year, for 2025, is a game called Journey of Jesus. Now, it's got an interesting history, as you said. Some of you listening may remember there used to be games on Facebook back in the day. Remember Farmville? Games like Cityville? Okay. We built games, my co-founders and I, this is not True Play, but a previous company. We built games kind of like the Farmville style games, but they told biblical stories. Journey of Jesus was our most popular one. We had over 3 million people play it all around the world. It was awesome. People loved it. The core audience played for 9 years. We had this huge community and people. We had tens of thousands of people come to Christ through the game because we partner with the Billy Graham Association. So, it was a fun game. It taught people the truth, but in a fun, engaging way. It outperformed a lot of the secular games, and people really liked it. And then, unfortunately, Facebook shut down games. I mean, you may realize, most people listening, you don't play games on Facebook anymore, whereas you might have used to 10, 12, 14 years ago. So we're resurrecting, to use your term, the Journey of Jesus game, and we're bringing it back and putting it on the True Play platform, but we're modernizing it. Very different, brand new art style, fun gameplay built for the mobile device versus, for Facebook web. But we're keeping the core of what worked, which is the storytelling, the messaging, and the real heart for God and the truth. And so we're asking people to help out, and we have a Kickstarter that's out, and they can come on board and make a contribution.
Now, that game, because it did well on Facebook, I'm assuming it was an older audience, because a couple years ago, I don't know if it was a super young audience. So how does that factor age-wise? What are you thinking kind of in this new?
That's a great point. In the previous game we built was played by a lot of women, a lot of moms and even grandmas. That was the old Journey of Jesus game. The way that most of our games on True Play, the current app that we have, we do have mostly we have kids, but we do have a lot of adults play. We have parents, and you go to our website, you'll see our testimonials. We'll have moms and talk about how they enjoy it. Now, you won't see a lot of videos from dads, but we talk to dads all the time. I'm a dad. I enjoy playing it with my kids. There's a lot of ways to play with your family and your friends and so forth. So we try to build games and write stories that can be enjoyed by all ages. Journey of Jesus will be enjoyed by children, but we know we're going to have a lot of adults play it and enjoy it as well.
Tell me a little bit, just personally, what this has done for your faith journey. And it's got to be, again, it's so easy to look at the negative. We see that around, right? Like it's hard to miss. But I get so excited when I people like you that get it, that are realizing that, yes, we have these things in front of us, but let's use them for God's glory. Like, it is a two-sided coin. And I think while we have the freedom to be doing this and using this, like, we need to be all in.
Yeah.
So just tell me a little bit about your heart and what this has done for your, faith journey.
Yeah, what I would say is that, God really called me to this. And it was about 7 years ago that I was about to turn 40, and I was asking, what am I going to do with the rest of my life? I'd been in tech and we'd had some success. But I didn't want to, I'm not a kind of sit on the couch guy or go play golf guy. That's not me. So I felt God really pressing me into this. And as he was, I found myself bothered by these kind of things. Anxiety, suicide, depression rates are all-time highs for kids. Sexual messaging and content pushed, in Disney movies and in video games and on social media, now, of course, in schools and on YouTube, where things that 10 years ago, all the things your mama taught you was wrong, you have all these technology and media companies and entertainment companies trying to push on you that's right, that telling you that it's right. And we know that it's not, and really going hard against biblical principles, biblical worldview, the truth of Jesus Christ. So what we realized was we need to go build something that's not just has Christian messaging, but that's so amazing and fun and beautiful and exciting and compelling that people prefer it to the secular. Now, what I didn't know would happen, fast forwarding a few years later, is how overt things would be. When you have even non-Christians like, Elon Musk and other, non-Christian people, commenting socially, they think Disney's out of line, right? Then you realize that we are in a different moment. And so in terms of strengthening my faith, seeing God move and moving around corners, I guess that's my encouragement to people. When God calls you to something, he knows the end of the story. He's asking you to have the faith to trust him that he knows. And we're seeing that kind of thing happen all the time with just the people who've joined the company. And we've had some people where we'll interview them and say, this has been a dream of mine for 15 years. Well, we didn't give them that dream. God gave them that dream. But this is the answer to that dream.
Well, and I always say all the time, God doesn't need us, right? He doesn't need all these different avenues to, it's just such a blessing and a privilege for us to be on board and to do something that we happen to be good at, to do that. And man, I love that. I love that story. Thank you for everything you're doing. I'm so excited about the future of this and where it's headed. So what's the best thing? How can people follow along? There's all sorts of phones and the website and the app. I know it can be a lot for people. What do you say to kind of simplify it and get kids plugged in?
Yeah, very simple. Please go to trueplaygames.com, TRUPLAY games.com. Check out our website. You can sign up right there. We have a 7-day free trial. So if you want to try it out first, we offer annual and monthly plans that are competitive with what you pay for, less than what you pay for Netflix, but competitive with what you might pay for Duolingo or those kind of things. We're very much, in that zone. It'd be less than you pay to take a friend to Starbucks to invest in your child's eternal salvation, right? And it's built by people who are really world-class experts in video gaming, in storytelling, in consumer technology, but also people who are parents. Most of us at TruePlay are parents, and we wanted to do something about it rather than just complain, because God doesn't call us to complain. He calls us to pray, but he also calls us to act. You don't see a lot of examples in the Bible. Well, such and so just prayed and didn't do anything. He calls us to pray and then take action, right? And so I would just encourage parents, check it out. It's also, you can get it on your phone, your Android phone or your iOS, Apple phone, or your tablets. Again, TruePlay in the App Store. Check it out. We'd love you to try it. And if you feel compelled, make a contribution. It's going to take a tribe of us, a movement together to stand up against toxic content. And we're asking everybody to join along.
All right. Well, I'm here for it. Let's check back in a couple months. We'll get the status on how things are going and what you guys are working on. We're going to have to stay in touch.
Would love to, Carley. Thank you so much.
Who says video games have to be dark?
God tells me to be strong and courageous.
That's why there's TruePlay, the safe gaming platform where cutting-edge graphics live in harmony with positive Christian storytelling. Go to trueplaygames.com today to learn more.
All right, now speaking of kiddos, I do want to tell you now about an adorable kids book that would make a great Christmas gift as well. It's authored by a well-known comedian and content creator that has more than 13 million followers across his social platforms. His name is Trey Kennedy, and his debut children's book is How You Got Your Name, a hilarious and touching story celebrating the wild journey to each child's name and the meaning behind it. But my favorite part is when the story reminds kids that God knew their name from the very beginning as well. 3.
Oh, Trey, good to get some time with you. How are you doing these days?
Great to see you. I'm doing well, thriving. I got more than 5 hours sleep last night. We got 2 under 2. It's a Friday. I'm ready. I'm ready to go.
2 under 2. Is that where you're at right now?
We are 2 under 2. We have a newborn, a few weeks old, and we're doing it. It's great though. It's fun.
Well, let's talk. Well, actually, before we get into the book, because maybe some, for whatever reason, our audience is just now hearing about you, which maybe they've been living under a rock. I don't know. But explain kind of your backstory, because there's very few of you. I mean, there's a lot of content creators out there, but you just have a great niche that not a whole lot of guys, I think, have right now. I personally love that most of what you do is generally clean comedy, too. So talk about how that kind of started and kind of how you found this niche where you're at, where literally you have millions of followers.
Yeah, I could tell your mom you sound like my mom. I like that you keep it clean. I think that's really great.
It is great. It is great, Trey.
And that's how I was raised. I grew up in Oklahoma, and great family, and went to church every Sunday and all that good stuff. And so I started making videos. I Vine came out while I was in college, that old app that's no longer, and so just goofing off with friends, and of course keeping it clean because I knew my mother could see this, and long story short, went viral 10 years ago and didn't think much of it. The internet wasn't what it was now, and I just kind of kept making videos on different platforms, was able to keep going viral and getting a following. And it's evolved in this career now. It's amazing. For years, I was just having fun. Then I was just kind of like trying to make the most of it. I was like, I'll eventually get a real job. And as we know, just social media and all this keeps going up and up. And I was at the right place at the right time. So now I'm touring around. I'm doing stand-up. I'm doing other projects. Now we have a children's book. I'm a dad. So it's been cool to kind of grow up with my career through my 20s.
And grow up with your fans, because I think what's interesting is now that you're a dad, it just gives you all this other content
Absolutely.
to really have fun, with life about.
There's always been comedians, but there was only ever a few because it was just a less popular medium and a harder one to break into. And now with social media, I've started to see that. Like, I have certain fans that have followed me for 10 years, and they'll come to a show and they're like, I followed you in college. Now look at my child and my husband or whatever. And so that's my content's just based off my experiences. So
because it keeps it real, right?
Yeah.
I think that keeps when you're authentic, and that's the best kind of comedy, I think, of where you can draw from. Let's talk about this kid's book. And again, you're a dad now. I love the concept. I was asking you before we got started. I'm like, I don't know if I've seen a kid's book kind of with this same message, which is kind of shocking because the conversations in this book and the illustrations are amazing. Are conversations I have with my kids all the time. They constantly want to know, what were you going to name me if my name wasn't this? And how did you come up with my name? And these are all conversations we've had.
Well, thanks. Yeah, I know. I hope there's someone out there. If there is, let me know. I'll try to burn them all or something. But how you got your name, it's the real payoff, heartfelt message is you get an opportunity to explain to your child how they got their name. But it's also kind of a play on kind of our baby name culture. It's been one of my more popular bits where I make fun of, all these crazy folks naming their kids, just making stuff tributary or something. I don't know.
Apple. Well, it's funny because one of the pages it talks about naming them after fruits and vegetables from the grocery store. And I'm like, no, there really is people that have done that.
Right. So I hope, and it's lighthearted and silly. My first pass at that book, I was actually putting real people's names that we all know. And they're like, we can't teach children to make fun of people yet. And I was like, okay. So it's very cute and silly. And it's the illustrations are amazing. Our illustrator did a great job, and my publisher did a great job. And we came up with something that I'm really proud of. And my 2-year-old, we're getting there. He's 2. He can't quite understand, but he loves the images. I'll just say that. So it's for all ages, really.
And at the end of the book, which I just love so much, you remind people that God knows their name. And I think that's such an important, lesson anytime we can say that is that, kids were known from the very beginning and he knows your name. Why did you want to put that in there? Tell me more about that.
Yeah, that really just because my mom will read it. And no, I'm joking. I mean, to your point too, I'm a comedian. I like to joke around, but I love this opportunity. And you become a dad, you get a little softer, and so this ability to read to my son or my daughter as she gets older and explain to them, we chose your name because you're special, and it means you have a lot of value, and also there's a God who knows you by name, and we're God believing family, and it's I think we've learned more and more how much that helps children and them as they grow up, if they have the confidence to know that there's a God and their parents who know them to very intimately and care about them. And so,
all right, so you have the book that's coming out. What else have you written another book before, or is this your very first one?
It's really my first like published book.
Okay.
I did a couple, maybe a little project or something for years ago that maybe you could find on the dregs of the internet, but no, it's my first book, and super excited to get it out December 3rd. Yeah, anywhere online you get books. And
great Christmas gift, by the way, I think. So
Christmas gift. Yeah, like from a kid making videos to all this, I never would imagine. It's been great.
How You Got Your Name is out now, and you can find it where most books are sold, including Amazon. I think this would be a great Christmas gift as well. All right, speaking of Christmas, I want to quickly tell you about a fun Christmas podcast that would be fun to listen to with your family. Scrooge, a Christmas Carol podcast, is a 4-part audio drama presented by Hope Media Group and Compassion International. It's filled with familiar voices. Take a listen.
But of all the considerable amount of things that grated Scrooge to his very core, would recoil him at every thought, note, or reminder, was his deep-seated, unadulterated, pure, and utter disdain for Christmas.
Merry Christmas, sir.
Merry Christmas, sir.
Bah! Humbug.
Jacob Marley?
You will be visited by 3 spirits on this very eve. One of the past, one of the present, and of the future.
Perhaps I could take them all at once and have it done with. Jacob! Jacob! Help me! It was just a dream.
Scrooge, A Christmas Carol.
Well, I am excited, Nancy, that this is back because from what I understand, I mean, it's back kind of by popular demand. It had so many awards and it had done so well last year that how could you not bring it around again?
Oh, we are excited. And we're actually hoping it becomes an evergreen Christmas property. And, so many people enjoyed it last year, listening with their families, listening on the way to grandma's house, while decorating their tree, cooking. It's something I think will be timeless. It really is.
And what is it about this storytelling because obviously this is such a classic. I think people know the story relatively well. I think there's still new generations that need to hear it. But what is it about this one that you think that has really struck a chord with people and why it's doing so well?
Well, I think there's several reasons it's doing so well. First of all, it's an audio drama, and the sound effects are amazing. When the horse's hoofs are on the cobblestone, you really envision yourself being there, and it allows for more use of your imagination. And that's something I think even parents enjoy with their kids. But I think as Christians, what's so important, we're very true to the story, but we had an amazing team led by Mark Ramsey, who really emphasized the key points of forgiveness, joy, redemption, and reconciliation, which, I mean, they're very much true to the Christian faith, and also especially at Christmas time, when a lot of family members and friends get together, that maybe there needs to be a little more forgiveness. There needs to be some redemption happening. And it's a fun way to engage with family and friends. And if you have a lost family or friend member, this is an easy tool to send to them, and it conveys the message, I think.
Oh, I love that. Talk about Hope Media and why this is, now under kind of your umbrella as well, this story. What was it about this particular story that Hope Media is, and maybe explain what Hope Media is for those watching that maybe don't know. But you said, you know what, yeah, we really want to take this under.
Oh, great. Well, Hope Media Group is a ministry that is comprised of a number of brands. We have KSBJ Radio, which is in Houston. We have Way FM Radio Network, which is around the country. Vida Unida, which is a Spanish language Christian network. We have Engine, which is a streaming service. We have a podcast, hopenation.com. It's a multimedia ministry, and it's wonderful. And we were excited to partner with Compassion International on this production of Scrooge because we wanted to deliver a high quality, entertaining, it's an event. It's a Christmas event that people can get behind. And really up until recently, there haven't been a lot of Christian entertainment properties. I come from Hollywood, so I call them properties, but that are quality, that you're really proud to share. I'm so impressed with the progress that we've made through the last few years, but this is a high quality production that we are just so excited that people can share and be proud of.
That's my love language. That's what I do. I love promoting when we find all these things, and I'm so excited about the future, right? Like this is just the beginning. So many more people stepping into the ring. So thank you for being a platform and encouraging others to do that. And again, maybe we could talk in 2025 about what's to come. And we, again, are just so thankful for a platform like yours that are also using media as ministry.
Amen. Well, thank you so much. And thank you for letting us share a little bit about it. And I do encourage people to go to scroogepodcast.com. I want to mention we also have a 5-day devotional that you can access there. And then there are kids' activities that parents can do with their kids that tie into Scrooge. So once you listen together, you can do some Bible study, but then some fun activities as well.
I love it. I'm totally here for it. All right. So nice to meet you, Nancy. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Jacob Marley?
You will be visited by 3 spirits on this very eve. One of the past, one of the present, and of the future.
Perhaps I could take them all at once and have it done with. Jacob! Jacob! Help me! It was just a dream.
Scrooge, A Christmas Carol.
The podcast is available to listen to today and is available on pretty much all the platforms like Apple, Google, and Spotify. Go to scroogepodcast.com for more info. I hope you enjoyed tonight's show. I'm Carley Boyette, and I look forward to seeing you next week right here on your Christian Television Network.